Ahoy, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the BBC Spews Live. Huzzah. Excuse me. It's the 4th of November, 2023. I always get the date wrong because now I'm in America. It's the wrong way around. Don't know why they insist on doing it that way when the rest of the world doesn't. But that's the way we are out here. Yeah, America. We like to do shit our own way, and you Europe who are losers can suck it. Who's in the chat? Let's have a quick look. Joel's in now, then, Orby, Richard Erickson, Rebel Frog Guy, Paul Fleming, Cool Cat, Ron Morgan, Stevie Miles, Jay Wilson, Slim, Jason Wells, Dave Wood, Jack London, now then, Paul Fit the North, Ron Morgan, Professor Andy Calvert, as usual, Chris the Greenman, Tony Brown, Sapper in the UAE, Catherine Ello, Terry Wookford, Glider Pilot, Purple Mick, Jack Ollie, Ragnar's in as well, obviously, Richard Erickson, Slim, and anyone else I've missed. Purple Mick, Glider Pilot. Now then. All right. Right then, what have we got to talk about today? Suella Braverman's actually starting to do some work, but we know why that is, don't we? We know why that is. It's because what they do is they do less work than John Wayne's safety catch for about 3.5 years. And then when it looks like they have to call a general election soon, they start well, doing a little bit. I'm confused here. It's not 7 yet. Did the clocks go back in the UK? Did they? Let me have a look. Oh shit, they did, yeah. All right, so I'm on at the wrong time then. I'm on at the wrong time. Well, when do ours go back then? That's weird. When do the clocks change out here? How strange. Can't we get this all? Let me say, when do the clocks change? Different in America, isn't it? Ends in first Sunday in November. So the clocks have changed. There we go. That's why the bootneck has buggered the time up. 31st of October here. Didn't know that. I'm not in LA, Jeff. I'm in Santa Barbara County. It's about 3 hours away from LA. It's much nicer than LA. There's also less communists here. In my local pub, I reckon 9 out of 10 people are sensible, normal, MAGA people, basically. It's very odd. The problem with the United States is because of the way the population is distributed, it comes across that California's hardcore commies, but basically, if you actually look at it by counties, literally, it's not that way at all. It's literally like San Francisco, San Diego, and LA are just like oomph, full of them. Well, all the counties around me, all of them are red. Basically, all like farmers and labourers and workers and shit. Is it or is the sound shite? I don't know. Maybe it is. Am I breaking up? That's a bit shit. What have they done, Susan? Hopefully it'll sort itself out. I don't think I'm downloading anything back. Let me have a look. Uh, is my VPN on? Sometimes I do a bit of downloading. Obviously, I've got a VPN for it. Let me just check if I left that on. That'll kill my connection. No. All right. Hopefully it'll sort itself out presently. Sounds like you're talking into a welly. Norman Collier. All right. I'll tell you what. I'll restart it and come back presently. Uno momento. I'll turn it off and turn it back on again. That fixes every IT problem, doesn't it? I think it does. Let me try that. One moment. All right. Windows 95. Right, how's that? Is that any better? Hopefully the sound's better. Testicles, testicles, one, two, three. Windows 95. I've actually got a good PC, me. I don't know why it takes a while. Maybe because it's got to spool everything up. Yeah, that is weird. Computers are weird, aren't they? You know why that was? It's because I was like pottering around in the kitchen and I put on, wireless headphones because a few youthful people took the piss out of me for having wired headphones plugged into my mic. But when I'm not sat at my PC, I do have Gucci headphones. I've got like these fancy ones hanging off a hook. Arctis 7s, they're pretty good. But to me, when you're not, basically, I don't like how your ears get boiling hot. You know, you get like a sweaty head when you're wearing them big. It's weird because they're massively popular now. The big bin lid earphones. If you go to the gym, and all the kids nowadays wear a big bin lid set of headphones. I don't like them. I wear them if I have to when I'm like pottering around in the kitchen or making a cup of tea or something, listening to tunes. But I never wear them when I'm sat at my computer. Wires are way better and they stick right in, so they don't make your head sweaty. Yes, I have got an M2 SSD. It's Gucci, my PC, mate. It's got like 12 cores, AMD 5900X, I think it is. 12 cores. I've got a $800 GPU. It's fucking ninja. It just takes a bit of time to spool everything up. I don't know why. Maybe because I've got so much shite on it from doing this. If they take the piss, they're useless. I don't think I just said that. If they take the piss, they're useless. Maybe it's when I go for it. Did I say when I go for a piss? Anyway, who knows? Who knows? AirPods are shite and all. If you're watching a film, you wear the big headphones. Yeah. Anyway, we're all over the place here, and someone's still talking about lard. I'll tell you what I will say about proper chips, right? When I was a bairn, my nana used to make us proper chips in a deep fat fryer in the kitchen. I don't think she changed the fat for about 2 years or something. It seems like it was just always the same fat in it. But B, they were the best fucking chips you'll ever eat. Like my nana used to make big fat chips in, fucking lard or whatever it was she used. Best chips ever. I still miss them chips, bless her. My nana was good at two things: making chips and stabbing people. she was a veteran of both of those tasks. Anyway, let me just check the news out. What have we got? Can't talk about chips and headphones all day. So Ella Braverman wants to curb the use of tents by the homeless. Well, like I said, that's funny, isn't it? I've been saying this for years, and it does me head in. London, it's one of the best metrics. Hello, Tin Dog from New Zealand. Welcome. It's one of the best metrics for gauging how fucked up your society is, because honestly, I remember going to London in like the 90s and there was no homeless people. There was hardly any homeless people. I'm not going to say there was none. Leon Curtis, welcome from Dublin, Ireland. There's more to it than a diss. That's my Irish accent for you, Leon. There was hardly any homeless. Hardly any. Like, literally in the last 10 years. I do not understand how normal people have not put two and two together and realised that mass immigration has been an unmitigated disaster. Well, I mean, we know this. Normal people have been saying it for at least 10 years, at least 10 years. That was off. It's off Alan Partridge, Dad. When he's being Alan Partridge, it's the one with. I watched it recently because it's funny. The one with Graham Linehan on, and he meets him downstairs, and he's just being crass, like Alan Partridge is, and that's what he says to him. He goes, "I've got a vision for his ad campaign. It's like Ireland. There's more to it than a diss." Anyway, yeah, homeless people. Massive numbers of them are foreign as well. Like, we import the worst people, and we have been for about 20 years. It makes me laugh, because everyone's complaining about it as if it's been some like massive failure. But the working class, the masses, because this is what I always say, like I'll wind Sadwings up and tell him, like, ultimately democracy works and you get what you deserve. It irritates me because in this case, we don't deserve it. Like, there's a lot of things you deserve. Like I said, Biden, whether or not you think there was shenanigans going on, he did get fucking tens of millions of votes. He did well, right? If they did cheat, it was only by a couple of 100,000, like they always do. So you basically get what you deserve. But see, this is what I'm talking about. Where's that fucking comment? It's gone too fast. Yeah, they keep. They don't, though. This is my point, Bobby. They don't. Like, that is wrong, that. Because after Blair, the general public said, we've definitely had enough of this shite. This is shite. This is gash. This isn't working for us. So 12 fucking years ago, the Tories won when they made the coalition. And even Labour and Lib Dem voters were saying, we've had enough. Even Labour and Lib Dem, like, you can look. Tony Blair said it himself, right? He said, I admit we got it wrong on immigration. Like, so we don't deserve. I've just realised you can see that nuke. It doesn't say Gaza. it doesn't say Gaza, honestly. Even then, we were all against it. Like, the general public said, we don't want any more of that. And Tony Blair and Peter Mandelson admitted it. So you can't really blame us for it, can you? Like, this is why it annoys me so much. The general public has been anti-mass migration in the UK for about 15 years. Like, after Tony Blair imported the fucking world on purpose out of spite, the general public very quickly realised that it wasn't working out. And it definitely was noticeable. Even Labour and I think Lib Dems were the only ones who maybe it was like 50-50. But even Labour and the Conservatives, like all of them, all British voters for the last 15 years have been massively, massively anti-immigration. Because it's obvious, it's fucking glaringly obvious to anybody who's got a hole in their arse that it costs us money. Like, I told you, when I moved back to Nottingham, the bloke living next door to me was a black bloke who didn't work. You knew he wouldn't work. He had a Mercedes. It wasn't brand new. I'm not going to big it up. The far right lie when they make out as if they get absolutely shitloads of money. They don't get like tens of thousands of pounds a month, but they get enough to get by. So he didn't have a brand new Mercedes, but he had a Merc, and he lived in a little 2-bedroom flat, I think it was. He was my neighbour, and I was in a little flat. But he never worked. I was in Nottingham like a whole year, and he didn't work. He was just always sat on his fucking lazy ass doing nought. Anybody who... there was a lie spread by the Labour Party saying that immigration made us money. And it definitely doesn't. Douglas Murray pulled it apart in his book, The Strange Death of Europe, because if you don't just include the billionaires and the millionaires, they include all of these like ridiculously rich people. They get someone like Elon Musk, he's a good example. They get a billionaire like Elon Musk and they see how much tax he pays. And they introduce that into the immigration statistics and they go, look at that. Immigration actually brings the United States fucking all this money. And it's like, yeah, but you're skewing the numbers. If you just take it by the median, or basically just take all the working class people instead of just going to the extremes, they cost you a fucking fortune. Douglas Murray, I think the end number for immigration to the UK, it probably costs us about like £30 billion a year. Because some of them work, but 95% of them are not college educated. So they're paying almost nothing in income tax. If you're earning fucking 30 grand a year because you're a janitor, you're a net drain, really. If you think about paying for your schooling for your kids, your housing, dentist, doctor, roads, all the strains you put on all the different services, you don't. You're not a net. You're not a net bet. You're a net beneficiary of the taxpayer. You only break even and start actually being a contributor when you get over about 30 grand, right? Someone like me was a net contributor because I was earning like my flat rate at Games Workshop, because that was a job I did for love, not money. My flat rate was only 30 grand a year. But you throw in my bonuses as well. I think all in I was getting about 38 grand a year. Let's say I got 38 grand a year. But I don't cost them anything. Anything. I didn't have kids at school there. I never go to the doctor, the dentist. I pay for everything. And I work for a private company and I'm paying, what, 10 grand a year in tax or something. Because they rate me when I got a bonus. That's something else that pissed me off. I got a Christmas bonus to be... See, that can't be right. It can't be 60 grand. How do you figure that one? If I make 40 and I don't use any services and I pay my council tax, so even the bins aren't fucking costing them anything. They're costing me because I pay my council tax. If I'm earning 40 grand a year, my Christmas bonus, I got like 5 or 6 grand off Games Workshop, and the fucking government took half of it. Like half, as if I'm like a pop star or a billionaire. If you're only making 40 grand a year and you get a 5 grand bonus, the government shouldn't be taking half of it off. But they took half of it. So literally, I got like two and a half grand or something after national insurance and tax. But I don't think it needs to be as high as 60, does it? Because just hear me out. Like I said, I've got no kids in school. I haven't been to the doctors or the dentist. I don't ring the coppers. I don't do shit. Like, I don't see how that costs them money. I pay my taxes. I pay rent. I pay council tax. Pay. I pay national insurance. How the fuck am I costing them money? You don't walk down the paved street or go on the roads. Yeah, I walk down the street. What? And my fucking income tax and my bastard council and my national insurance and all that shit doesn't pay for it. I reckon it's got to be about, it's slightly over 30 if you don't use everything. I don't think you're a drain. But anyway, yeah, thanks for that, Scott Lyle. That'll buy you a beer in Santa Barbara. They're about $8 a pint round here, so that'll get me one. And then you throw in a tax and a tip. Maybe it'll be $10.50. Yeah. Taxing on beers, fucking bastards. Build the hospital only when they say you're sick. Well, that's a fair point. But what I'm getting at is, right, there's a massive difference between a hale and a healthy 40-something who goes to the gym 6 days a week and has got absolutely no medical problems and never chucks a sickie and pays his wages and goes to work every day. Who pays the kids that are born to work behind the bar? Well, the bartenders get paid by the fucking patrons only. They're not supported by the taxpayers. We seem to be going down the route of saying that every single thing is a drain, really. I mean, I had the argument when I was a bootneck, right? Because I was arguing with a socialist in the pub, and this guy says, oh, well, you're a drain because you work for the government, which is true to some degree, right? Because there's a massive difference between being a producer and being a non-producer, i.e., if you're a bricklayer and you work for a private company that's building houses and being paid for them by consumers, you're obviously making a lot more than if you're a nurse or a teacher or a fireman or a copper. Like, I understand the massive difference between a producer and a non-producer, but what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, there's a level you have to get to when, even if you work full time, when you're actually contributing. And I think anything under about 30k, I don't want to argue about it all day, Bobby, because we'll just end up having a debate rather than talking about the news and stuff. But what I'm getting at is, I would not expect it to be as high as 60 grand, maybe 30 odd before you break even. But it can't be that high. I mean, if you're making 50k a year and you're paying for everything, I don't see, especially when the tax is so high. And that's why it's way better in the United States. Like, you get a tax man to do your taxes over here. I think your real tax is probably about 20%. When I was at GW, I was getting fucking fisted. The Chancellor was folding me up like a deck chair. Every time I opened my payslip, it fucking hurt. I was like, Even and like, I couldn't forget about it. It's like it gave me PTSD. I'd be drinking a pint in the pub, on a Saturday, and drinking it, knowing how much tax I've paid, used to upset me. It's like bastards. Like they were robbing me fucking blind when I was working in the UK. Yes, it is. It is. It annoys me paying it out here, but at least it's a lot lower. Council tax is shocking as well. Council tax is fucking shocking. Absolute daylight. This is what I'm saying. I can't believe people had a pop at Jimmy Carr. Poor old Jimmy. Jimmy was doing his civic duty. If you don't pay your taxes in the UK, you're doing us a fucking favour. That is, you're doing your civic duty. Because what are you paying for taxes for? You're giving them money, and then we pay to castrate kids. Do you know what I mean? Like the amount of shit that we waste money on makes me feel fucking sick. If it was like the good old days, like again, I know I always go on about the 80s or something, but it feels like the country's just completely broken. In the 80s, when you paid tax, you knew that most of your tax was going to go on something fucking useful, like a school or a hospital. Now you pay tax and you're like, oh, well, there's £1 for the Nigerian Spice Girls. I mean, have you seen this shit we spend money on? There's £1 for the Nigerian Spice Girls. There's a couple of quid for dropping a bomb on a fucking school. Here, this one's going to Abu Hamza's mosque. I mean, did you see that? We even give 500 grand to the fucking mosque. One of the mosques that like grew up all the, oh shit, I said the M word. Bell End, Big Golden Bell End Church. You're allowed to slag off the church. The Big Golden Bell End Church, we sent them 500 grand, and it was the church that churned out like the London bombers, like the blokes who blew up London Bridge. We pay for them. I mean, the best example I can give you is, remember, we paid to feed and clothe and house Salman Abedi. Like we knew his parents were full-blown jihadis. And we paid to feed, house and clothe the whole fucking family for 20 years. And then Salman, bless his little cotton socks, paid for by the taxpayers. You bought every bag of fucking Weetabix Salman ate, and then 20 years later he blows a load of women and kids up. And you think I should have a pop at Jimmy Carr for dodging his taxes? You're having a fucking laugh, aren't you? I'm well down with tax evasion. Jimmy, hats off to you, kidder. He's my fucking hero. Anything that can stop me. I would suck jizz out of Elton John's arsehole if it would let me not pay £1 to the Chancellor of the Exchequer. That is how much I hate paying my taxes. It proper makes me, I get a rage boner every time I read my national insurance payments in the UK, when I knew for a fact that I wasn't going to be using the doctors because I go to the bastard gym every day and I make sure I keep in shape, and I've got no health issues at all. I don't even like paying my fucking national insurance contribution because now I'm like, this isn't going to go to some 80-year-old British woman that paid taxes for 62 years. This is going to go on Abu Hamza's next fucking prosthetic. Do you know what I mean? I'm buying Charmin Ultra for the fucking suicide bombers. Like, what the fuck are you doing? It's completely ridiculous. So it pisses me off. I hate it. Like I said, back in the day, when immigration was like 20,000 people a year, all my life when I was a kid, sort of 80s, 90s, I didn't feel this way. I was always the moderate. You know me. I'm a socially liberal, fence-sitting twat. I was always the bloke in the 90s who was saying, oh, you have to pay your income tax though, lads. You have to pay, someone would say, oh, immigration is theft. And I'd be like, nah, you have to pay, lads. Come on. We're all part of a society. We all chip in. You pay your income tax to educate the children that'll be your neighbours. You pay your income tax to pay for the schools and the roads and the hospitals. And we all chip in. Now we don't have a society anymore. We have a global fucking cesspit where every year hundreds of thousands, 600k people moved. We have nothing to do with them. We've got no community, no cohesion. It's dog eat dog. And we're getting fucking robbed. That's a good idea. Or you get him round fucking Hamza interior decorators. That's a fucking great idea. Get Abu round. The only problem is he'll decorate it, and then you'll come in to have a look, and he'll be like, "What do you think?" And you go, "Fucking hell, you did a good job there, Abu." "Oh, I bang on, mate." And then you'll be like, do you want a bacon sandwich?" "Oop," and he'll go, "Hello." Fuck your kitchen up again. He'll ruin all of his hard work. Pebble dash it with his fucking brain matter. So yeah, wanker. But it is that there's no sense of cohesion or community anymore. So why should I keep paying my taxes? I'm paying for the jihadis, right? Salman Abedi is the best example. I bought his fucking tracky bottoms. I gave him all his Weetabix. I might as well have spoon-fed him. I might as well have packed his hissing backpack, filled it with barbarians and rat poison, give him a pat on the head and sent him on his fucking way. So to me, if you pay your taxes willingly, you're complicit. You're helping them. We are feeding and clothing all these suicide bombers. They're fucking homegrown. Almost all of them are homegrown. So, yeah, they have. That's what I'm getting at. I wasn't this way in the 80s and the 90s. But as I keep saying, I didn't vote for Trump. But now I look back at the evidence and I've changed my mind. 2016, I was like, who's this twat? Now I'm like, fucking hell, the orange oracle can save us all. Because the real man faces the mirror and admits he was wrong. Hold his hands up. I was definitely wrong. I was wrong on the Donald. Sadwings told me, 2016, I was like, nah, this guy's a prick. He's rude. He's a fucking wanker. And now we're like, fuck me. He was a savant. He was a savant. On foreign policy, the man was a genius. Like, you can slag him off. Yes, he has plenty of shortcomings. But that whole shit with Jerusalem, that was all avoidable. When he got them to sign, well, almost nailed those Jerusalem Accords on, moved the embassy. It was called like the biggest step forward in the Middle East peace process for like 3 decades. Like, Trump should have won the Nobel Peace Prize. They gave Obama it for fucking wiping his ass. I think Obama just got one for trans activism because he married fucking Big Mike. Like, Obama did deserve that Peace Prize for his efforts on trans activism. Because, trust me, getting piped every night by Big Mike, that is work. You've got to give that credit to Obama. Getting piped by Big Mike. He brought gay rights forward 50 years. Have you seen the back and shoulders on Big Mike? I've seen a picture of him from behind going into like some community fucking centre. It looked like if when my granddad got sunburned in Spain when he was like 63, and you can that looked like him walking into the bar after he got sunburned. Big hairy back, gnarled muscles. That's what it looked like. Grandpa Bootneck with his fucking top off after a day at the beach. So Big Mike is a very considerate lover. Clearly. So yeah, it's mad that he didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize for that. Like, he did a really good job. And listening to people discussing it, I think it was Joe Rogan was talking about with John Peterson. He was saying, oh, basically, if it was anybody else, he would have got the Nobel Peace Prize for that. And then because the borders are another big one, isn't it? Essentially, what it boils down to is we knew there was a massive immigration problem here in the United States, just like in the UK. It was something people complained about for about a decade. And then, so Trump took steps to fix it. And then because the whole establishment left in the United States completely lost the plot and is deranged, driven mad by Trump derangement syndrome, they just fucking couldn't bring themselves. Because think how immature they are. This is what I'm like. Like, I'm a reasonable centrist chap. If I took over now and I seen something that the Biden administration had done that I agreed with, I'd hold my hands up and say, fair enough. Like, I don't like him, but I'm sure there's individual policies that they've done that are useful. And I agree with, and I would have the maturity to say that. I don't really like anything Biden stands for, but at least he got that right. And you would think if they had any maturity at all or any attachment to the nation, the betterment of the United States of America, they could have just came in and said, listen, I hated Trump. I think he was a terrible president, but on immigration and on foreign policy, he did do excellent work. Biden should have just said, I mean, think how hard is it to say that? Biden should have just been like, yeah, I hate Trump. He's rude. He's divisive. There's no need for the way he speaks. But his efforts on the Jerusalem Accords were extremely praiseworthy. I'm going to carry that good work forward. I'm going to get Saudi Arabia online, and we will bring peace to the Middle East. If he could have just done that, we wouldn't be now staring at this total fucking shit show. And like I said, you can slag Trump off all you like. There's plenty of manifestly obvious issues with Trump, his general behavior. But on everything else, you've got to put it all to one side and just say, for the good of the nation, for the good of the fucking world, he did well on immigration, he did well on foreign policy. On foreign policy, he was a savant. He was a savant. Can you remember they were all saying he was going to cause World War III? They're like, oh yeah, Trump's going to cause World War III. World War III. Are we closer or further away from World War III now than we were 3.5 years ago? Trump is a fucking genius. North Korea, Russia, China. It was all fucking sound 4 years ago. And it's obvious to anybody who's not a psychopath. Think of it logically. Even if you're not a foreign policy genius or a geopolitics wizard, just think of the basics. If you have a child in school, and you say to that kid he's getting bullied at school, what do you say to them? Do you say, A, capitulate and give the bully everything he wants? Oh, the little fat ginger kid wants your dinner money. Give him it, son. Give him it. Who's got a kid in school? Fat ginger kid's picking on him. Oh, the fat ginger kid's taking me dinner money. Do you say to them, give fatty your dinner money? Well, maybe you do if you're a pathological Guardian reading twat. You might say like, oh, he's probably from a broken home and he needs the food. Oh, he probably lives in a council house. Give him all your money. But if you're not an idiot, you say, stand up to the bully. Everybody knows it. Stand up to the bully. This is common fucking sense. It's what I keep telling you. It's common dog. What your granny and your granddad know. It's this wisdom you learn on your knees of your grandparents when you're 6. Stand up to a bully. What do we do? What did Biden do? Fucked it up. Pathetic, weak. Afghanistan, Russia, and now Israel. It's all fucked because of him. Because you stand up to a bully. Trump, when that little short-arsed fucking bouffant cunt in North Korea said, oh yeah, if Trump wants to mess around, I'll press my button. Trump said, go on then, fatty, press the button. Press the button. I've got a bigger one and mine fucking works. So if you want to press the button, do it, fatty. And 6 months later, the best mates. He's like, oh, okay. Easy. Afghan was... Getting peace was Trump's policy. There's no way in that situation we were in, he would have just pulled out with his tail between his legs. There's no fucking way. That was a total shit show, pulling out too early. He definitely got the Koreans on side, and that is just an indisputable fact. Suppose we could argue about Afghanistan, maybe. But the point is, on foreign policy, we were in a far better place. Wasn't kicking off in Russia. It was quiet in Afghanistan. Wasn't kicking off in Israel. It was sound. Yeah, he did. He said to him, go on then. Go on then, fatty, press your button. See how that works for you. It was just better. And how you can look around now when half the world's on fucking fire and say, oh yeah, we're doing good now. It genuinely baffles me. Like, that's what I'm saying. That is the definition of an ideologue. Because now you get people on Twitter, lefties, saying, oh, Biden's one of the best presidents we've ever had. I can't think of anything he hasn't fucked up. I wouldn't trust Biden to run a fucking lemonade stand in my front garden. Like, everything's gone wrong. All the kitchen table issues. Again, you don't have to get into, like, the meat of international or geopolitics. But the basic stuff living out here. Petrol's twice the price that it was 4 years ago. Milk, dairy, cheese, bread, twice the price that it was 4 years ago. Economy's fucking... We've got the jobless rate, it's all right. but everything costs twice as much as it used to. Tax has gone up. He's a lying bastard. He said you won't pay any more tax when I'm in charge unless you earn more than 300 grand a year. Well, me and Mrs. Bootneck don't earn 300 grand a year, and we fucking tax has gone up. So there's 4 big ones. The kitchen table issues. You can equivocate and piss around all you like, but on those simplistic things, half the world's on fire. Petrol's twice the price. Scran's twice the price, and we're paying more taxes. Fuck them. Biden can suck my festering left one. That is just everything he's done has fucked up my life and made it measurably worse. So who cares if Trump's a wanker? Who cares if he's a wanker? I've told you, the analogy I would use is if you opened a franchise for McDonald's, that's the only thing that stayed the same. OnlyFans. If you were opening a franchise, a McDonald's, and you had the choice between 2 people to run it, and you could have A, a superficially nice guy that was hopelessly incompetent, or B, a stern disciplinarian who was a wanker, but was bound to make your franchise a success and was definitely going to turn a profit by the end of the year, who would you pick? Who would you pick? I don't care about trivialities, niceties. Oh, Uncle Joe's nice. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. All I want is competence. If petrol's half the price and food's half the price, and I get to keep more of my wages, and we're not going to have a fucking nuclear war, I'd vote for bastard Ted Bundy to be the. I would make Ted Bundy the president and Harold fucking Shipman the Secretary for Health. I'd make Forrest Gump the Secretary for Education. If the big 4 are done, who gives a fuck about anything else? Cheap scran, cheap pezza, extra money in your bank account every month, peace around the world. Do what you want. There we are, vote Fred. Freddie, 2024. I don't even care. Dear black people, Muslims now number you on the streets. Have to go through the hordes. Yeah, well, I suppose that's true. Yeah, I read about that. Yeah, well, again, we'll all stop going to Mackie D's, don't we? And then the market will sort it out, and then Mackie D's will leave California. And that gibbering, clueless shit cunt in Sacramento, those of you that don't know because you don't watch American politics, Gavin Newsom, gruesome fucking Newsom, the degenerate commie who lives just north of me, that'll sort itself out because Mackie D's will just flee the state, won't they? Anyway, I'm just ranting now. Shall we just pick a story? What's funny on Twitter today? Barbarians play charged with sexual assault. You do surprise me. You do surprise me. Abu Ratti in Yarawa sounds like a fucking gentleman. You do surprise me. A fucking athlete doing a bloke called Abby. A bloke called Abby doing a bit of sexual assault. That takes me by surprise. That, you know why he did it? As he was horsing one into, he went, "It makes me happy." That's where his name comes from. Abby. He's probably called Alan, but they overheard him during the sexual assault. He went, "It makes me happy." So yeah, there's a good one. Love that. Sexual assault in Cardiff. Nice one. What happened? Sexual assault by penetration. What did he do? Stick his hand down someone's drawers in the middle of a fucking nightclub. I love the way that as well. It says, you know how like the BBC doesn't like anything to sound mean when it comes to anyone who doesn't look like me. It says, Magistrate Peter Hamley subjected the London Irish forward to stringent bail conditions. He subjected some young lass to getting fucking balled by a big black rugby player. How's the word subjected in this story only reserved for the fucking rugby player? Ooh. I mean, he's a free man, but he's got an electric curfew between the hours of 7 and 0700. Oh, the poor bastard. The poor bastard. Like you read that and you go, oh my God. Appy's been subjected to bail conditions. What about the fucking bird who got subjected to getting triple digited off a fucking Fijian rugby player? BBC, what about that? Fucking subjected. So stick him on a boat and fuck him off back to Fiji. How's about that? Subject him to instant deportation, the fucking rat bastard. How about that? The BBC's subjecting my fucking eyeballs to sexual assault as well, reading this shit. US acknowledges flying unarmed. Oh, crime of the fucking century. Just read about some bloke donking one into some poor Welsh girl. That's not the fucking crime of the century, is it? Gaza ambulance. That Gaza ambulance probably had more TNT in it than a fucking Sherman tank. Oh, shite. Oh, look, adverts. Fuck off. I hate the BBC. Oh, why don't you register for an account? I'd rather register for an account at fucking the local gay nightclub than give BBC any money. Yeah, so there you go. That strangely explosive ambulance. In Afghanistan, the Red Crescent, that was just the Taliban, the Taliban were just printing out Red Crescents and sticking them on the fucking Toyota Corolla full of 107 grenades. Of course, the fucking Red Crescent, they're hitting the bloody ambulances. Are you daft? They cheat. Unlike us, the enemy cheats. Do you know what I mean? It's like when they'll pull the white flag up, and then as soon as you stand up, they're going over and put some tags on them, they shoot you in the head. They cheat. I don't think the Red Crescent guarantees that it wasn't a highly explosive ambulance. I think some of the blood samples would have been highly flammable in that ambulance. So I'm just saying. We're off daylight savings. I know, Charlie, I figured that out at the very beginning of this stream. I apologise. Still, there's 400 and odd people in here, so we've got you found it eventually. Oh God, let's have a quick look on Twitter actually, because I want to show you some of the shit I've seen on Twitter. Some of this. I think when you're a real man and you're not one of these fucking cringing, self-loathing soy boys, there's just something about, well, two things, isn't there? Women crying and kids in fear. Like, well, there's something about it when you're a normal man that it just does something to you. My missus knows if she starts crying, I instantly go, all right, you win, right? Because it makes you feel wretched when you're an actual man. When you're not a rat. It's probably because of our lengthy evolutionary process, the idea that it's imprinted in your brain that you should look after the women and the kids because it's desperate for the survival of your species. The Spartans' famous battle at Thermopylae, you know, it wasn't really that they were going against the grain there, because there's something in us that's like primal to guard the tribe, you know, when we almost went extinct. You know, it's a primal thing. And when you hear women, when you see women and kids crying, even a heartless bastard like me, it does something to you. And look at this post. I hope the volume's on. When I heard that, there's two things that affected me. It's even though they're not speaking English, obviously, it's the fact that the little girl is so obviously just a little kid. It's a child with a really high-pitched voice. And secondly, that she has to act so maturely. You know, like she's like, trying to tell him, like, I've got the babies in here. Like, please look after the baby. It proper wound me up, like, listening to this. I hope the sound's on, because you can hear the little girl. Basically, a load of dirty, horrible, goat fucking terrorists are rinsing a car with gunfire, and they apparently hit the mother, and there's two kids in the back. And just listen to the little girl when the police go over. She says, no, please, no, because she thinks it's the fucking terrorists going to kill her. Listen to this. shocking, that, innit? Like, that proper makes me want to fucking just, like, I try to be, impartial on these type of things. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, hearing that little girl say that, if I had a heart, it would break it. They are fucking savages. Like, it proper makes me want to. It makes me just be like, calling the A10s. You know what I mean? I was on the fence going, who cares about Israel, Palestine? Got nothing to do with me. And then you see little kids like that, and it makes me go, yeah, just kill them all. As I keep saying, the only other thing that really, like I said, it's heartbreaking, that, isn't it? Because she sounds like a fucking 5-year-old. The thing that really annoys me about it is it drags me out of my sort of middle of the road, who cares about either side sort of thing, and makes me think, turn into the world's largest fucking open air glass market. I'm gonna go on a debate. No Chance, the Scottish YouTuber, asked me to do a debate with him, and I said, yeah. But he couldn't sort it out in time. So I think he's going to aim for next week. But the tack I was going to take now is I have slightly changed my position in that I don't really care about Israel Palestine because I haven't got a dog in the hunt, and I am something of an isolationist. I think at the end of the day, people should be left to fix their own problems. So I'm not all in with the Israelis. I'm definitely not, and I'm not saying that they haven't done things wrong, but ultimately, if you have to pick a side, I will definitely go with the 4B2s. They've got plenty of problems of their own. They have their own interests at heart all the time. The King David hotel bombing I always talk about, you read about that, read about the background behind it. It's complicated, and I'm not a Zionist or some sort of I'm definitely not all in with Israel. But if you have to pick a team, it seems pretty clear cut to me. One obvious argument I was going to bring up with him is that just look at the numbers. Like, you can say that they've got their own agenda and they don't have our interests at heart, and they don't. I mean, there was already a leaked document where I believe the long-term plan is to just go, hey, just send them all to Europe. You know what I mean? We'll have this. Just send them all to Europe. So they've got their own plans. But the point is, there's only about 12 million 4B2s in the world, like, as a whole. And there's billions of Allen's boys. So if I have to pick a team, I mean, I'd prefer Allen's boys to lose it. It's not like they haven't got the manpower to lose it. Fucking hell. They were queuing up to be suicide bombers when I was in Afghanistan and Iraq. It's not like they ever ran out of blokes. So it's like, I don't really care either way, but I'm leaning towards that. Like, I would rather see them completely flatten Gaza than see the Palestinians overrun and just kill everybody in Israel. So do you know what I mean? I'm not mega into it, but it seems to me there's only two options, right? This whole power sharing bollocks, not going to happen. The religion doesn't allow for it. It's not like civilized Europeans who are just sort of like, power sharing work in Northern Ireland to some degree, because we haven't got the same ridiculous adherence to these fucking desert fables. But the 4B2s and Allen's lads will never, ever not want to murder each other. So there seems to be only two choices. You can either have the Palestinians wipe out all the 4B2s and it just becomes Greater Palestine, or the 4B2s can mallet the Bacanophobes and take the whole area. The downside is they probably will push a few more million of them into Europe, but I mean, have you seen the state of Europe? You probably wouldn't even notice. You stick all 2 million Palestinians in fucking Bradford and we wouldn't even notice them. Split them evenly, 1 million in Bradford and 1 million in fucking Luton, and both exactly the same. Won't even notice. I'd walk through, if you dumped 2 million Palestinians in Luton tomorrow and I went hitchhiking through the place, it wouldn't even look any different. so, I mean, who cares, really? I know they do. I know. I've told you that. Well, I don't believe any of that is contradictory to what I've just said to you. I know they've got their own, because that's a leaked document. I believe the long-term plan is to do that. But as I've said, I've always been a ruthless pragmatist. I think there's only two options, so I will lean towards one side winning it than the other. And as I said, there's billions of Alan's boys, and there's only about 12 million 4B2. So it seems to me they're more like an endangered species. I suppose it's I suppose we can afford to lose more of the former than the latter. Cenotaph shocking. I know it is shocking. Again, well, these are the ones that I'm talking about. The Cenotaph's not full of Jewish people, is it? It's full of Alan's boys. Also, holding my hands up quite clearly, I'm not entirely impartial, because I did 4 tours of Iraq and Afghanistan. And when you do that, you don't come home and go, I'll tell you what, fucking lovely blokes out there. You know what I mean? You don't come home from Afghanistan and go, I'll tell you what I love. Afghans. Yeah, my favourite people in the world. All of them were polite. I mean, yeah, a few of them tried to rinse me with an AK-47, and at one point I would have to try and claw some dirty, broken fingernails away from my jugular. But other than that, nice people. Doesn't happen. Oh, yeah, and also, I had a kebab in Middlesbrough, and he fucking poisoned me for 3 days. There's no way that wasn't cooked on an upside-down shopping trolley with a blowtorch in an alley full of dog shit. So I'm just saying, I'm putting all my cards on the table. I'm a little bit biased. Birmingham, fucking hell. Alabad. Alabad. I went there once when I was a bootneck for when I was on a jolly. It was a core display team was putting on an event at the NEC. It's the only time I've been out on the piss in Birmingham. I was there like 3 nights. What a shithole. Alabad. Honestly, I think that's the worst city in the UK, Birmingham. Proper fucking old. Oh yeah, before I bugger off, I'll show you this Discord thing. I have to do something for the members because I opened it up to Rob Susan's piggy bank, and apparently you have to do something for the people that give you £3 or whatever it is. So I started a Discord, and I'm gonna try and see if I can post it. And anybody who's sat at a computer now and actually uses that fucking app can have a click and see if it works. Because we should be able to do like a back and forth in there. Like I think you can send, you can actually talk to each other. You can share your screen and do all of that shit. So let me just have a look and see if it works. And we'll see what the crack is. Because I did go on here ages ago, but I've sort of let it completely slip. Here we are. How the fuck do you make it? Oh, there we are. All channel members. There we are. Right, done. That should be in. Right, if you remember, you should be able to click on that and then join it. And I believe if you just go to like Furious News, you should be able to talk. Unless I'm just being a twat. I'll have to figure out. You know I'm a bit of a boomer, but apparently you can go in here and just start nattering away. So we'll see. There's a few posts in there, actually. I wonder if it posts automatically by itself because there's loads of shit in here. That is weird. It seems like it's been automatically posting all of my... if that, then this. I don't even know where that fucking came from. It looks like it's been automatically posting all my YouTube stuff in there. So, yeah, we'll figure that out. I'm going to share this screen. Gosh. Did you know make rolls with unique colours to accessibility? Got it. Custom messages from AutoMod. See, like this thing apparently has been sharing all my YouTube stuff for fucking months. But I haven't. It's time to Bud Light, Marks and Spencer's in there. Yeah, don't fully understand how it works, but we will figure it out eventually. All right, yeah, I'll put some effort in. I'll have a look at it later, and we'll see if we can do. We'll see if we can do like a members stream or something where we can have a natter, and you can throw bollock stories at me, and I will give you my. I'll give you my 2 cents as we go. A look of confusion. Davey, right? Look at you. You're about 60, and you're a codhead. There's no way you're a fucking tech guru. No way. It's easy to criticize when you're not the one sat in front of the camera, Davey. I'd love to see you working with a fucking studio. 60-year-old codhead, definitely not. Fucking Davros, are you? Davros, Lord of Machines. If you can work one of these fucking boom mics, Davey, look, can they see that? No, you can't. Oh shit, I've nearly pulled it off the fucking desk there. Anyway, I have got a microphone as well, but yeah, I've got a bit of a setup going on here, Davey. So don't be making out like you're some sort of fucking techno guru. Davros going to send the fucking Daleks after me. No join button to join members. I don't know. Let me have a look. Can't you just join when you do show member list? There's only me. Alligator Pie's in there. Don't know where the fuck she came from. Yeah. I don't even know. I'm sure what I'll have to do is when this is over, I'll go on YouTube and watch some YouTube videos, and that'll teach me how to do it. If a little Indian kid can perform open heart surgery on his dad after watching fucking YouTube videos, I think I can manage that. Russ is in as well. Now then, mate, how are you doing? I don't have to come in. You don't have to. You don't have to, but you live in Saltburn, David. You guys can take it. If you're a codhead, you're used to dealing with abuse from townies like me. Boomer Tech, you'll be replaced by AI. I'm sure I will eventually. I'm sure I will. Anyway, right, we'll leave it there, and I'll go and try and figure out this. If I get it done in the next, I'll tell you what, I'll stay logged in, and if I get it done in the next 10 minutes, you can click on the link on YouTube and stick your head in. All right, I'll stay in there for a while, and we'll figure it out. Okay? Watch my YouTube channel. I'll put links in there. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will be on with, I think I'm on with Ragnar and Jack tomorrow, aren't I believe so. If you want to see more shite talked in public, go and have a look at that. All right? Thanks for watching, everyone. AI without the AI. I'm just an A. Right. See you all tomorrow. Cheers. See you later.